Welcome to today's Explainer. We're jumping right into the foundation of human-centered design. Every great app, product, or space you've ever loved, yeah, it didn't just happen by accident. It happened because someone took the time to deeply understand users, their needs, their wants, and their behaviors. But before we really get into the weeds, I've got a surprisingly tough question for you. When you start building or creating something, who are we actually designing for? It's so tempting to just say, well, I want literally everyone to use it, right? But look at this powerful quote from our source text. A designer does not create for everyone. Designing for everyone usually means you design for no one. Building for specific people with specific needs is the real antidote to bad design. Okay, let's peel this whole concept back like an onion. We'll be going through who is the user, needs versus wants, decoding user behavior, the 3 layers of needs, design across different fields, and finally, the power of observation. Section 1. Who is the user? The center of the design process. So if we aren't designing for everyone, we really need to figure out who actually experiences the things we create. By definition, a user is the specific person who interacts with or experiences a design. It sounds so simple, but it requires a profound shift in mindset to keep them at the absolute center of the process from day one. And honestly, a user is everywhere. It could be someone wearing a breathable cotton kurta in the absolute peak of summer heat, or someone trying to use a UPI app at a crowded, noisy local vendor, or even just someone navigating a bustling railway station. A good designer never stops asking, how will this specific person experience my design? Section 2. Needs versus wants, balancing function and attraction. Now, this is probably the most fundamental balancing act in all of design, separating the strict requirements from the mere preferences. Think about a classic plastic chair at your local tea stall. Its absolute needs: it must support the body, be relatively comfortable, and be durable enough to survive constant use. But look over at the wants. For that exact same sitting experience, a want might be a trendy color, a really plush shape, or premium leather materials. Let's bring that into the digital world. Take a UPI payment app. Its core needs: it absolutely must process transactions instantly and securely. That is pure function. But the wants, the clean layout, that satisfying little sound when a payment goes through, the slick animations, those are the things that make the design attractive and loved. So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is this. Great design balances both. You really can't sacrifice one for the other. A highly functional but totally confusing app won't be used, and a beautiful, stylish chair that collapses the moment you sit on it, well, that's a complete failure. Section 3. Decoding user behavior, uncovering hidden needs. Here's a pretty fascinating truth about people. Users rarely actually know, or at least rarely say, what they truly want. Because they can't always clearly explain their friction, we have to decode their behavior by observing 3 simple things: what people do, how they do it, and why they do it. It's so true. Actions really do speak louder than words. Imagine a user struggling to cut open a super tight plastic milk packet first thing in the morning. They might wrestle with it, spill a little milk on the counter, and just go about their day without ever writing a formal complaint to the dairy company. But if a designer observes that struggle, it reveals a massive opportunity. By studying this raw behavior, designers uncover hidden needs the user couldn't even articulate. Section 4. 3 layers of needs: functional, emotional, and social. You see, human needs are rarely just physical. They actually exist across 3 very distinct psychological layers. The first one is functional needs. These relate purely to performance. For example, a daily commute bag should carry your items comfortably. If the strap snaps or just digs into your shoulder, it completely fails its baseline functional need. Next, we move inward to emotional needs. These relate directly to feelings. A product's lasting success is so often deeply tied to the specific emotions it stirs up. Does this product make the user feel confident? Does it make them feel secure or perhaps really joyful?
And finally, we have the external layer, social needs. These relate to identity and belonging. Think about wearing a specific traditional outfit to a big Diwali gathering. It communicates your cultural identity and your respect for the occasion to everyone else around you. True human-centered design considers all three of these layers, functional, emotional, and social, simultaneously. Section 5, Design across different fields. Same human-centered approach.
Now, what's really interesting here is how this core philosophy remains completely identical across wildly different disciplines. In fashion, designers balance lifestyle and comfort, like making sure there are actually functional pockets in a traditional kurta. In interior design, it's all about spatial needs, like designing a multi-generational Indian home with smart shared living spaces. UI/UX looks at interaction patterns, like making multilingual menus super intuitive on a payment app. Product design solves physical usability, like a tiffin box that perfectly keeps food piping hot for hours. And graphic design ensures public signage is clearly understood in local languages. The final outputs differ, sure, but the human-centered approach is exactly the same across the board. Which brings us to Section 6, the power of observation, bringing it back to you. Let's do a quick active reflection exercise together. I want you to mentally select a product you use every single day. It could be the smartphone sitting in your hand, your absolute favorite backpack, or even the chair you're sitting in right now. True design begins with looking way beyond the mere appearance of these items to discover what people really value and how they experience the world. Looking closely at that everyday object, ask yourself, what hidden problem is it actually solving for you? And what unspoken user behavior influenced its creation in the very first place? Try observing your environment today through that exact lens. Because if you look closely enough, literally everything around you is a silent, ongoing conversation between a designer and a user. Thank you so much for exploring this with me today. Keep questioning the design around you.